Greetings, this is the Timeshare Traveler. Today is episode 283. It's about my budget for 2025. I've been wanting to do this and I've just finished booking pretty much right through Christmas. So I've actually got my costs all lined up. 2025 was a year living in a condo. I really stayed in two places with a few other changes. So it's very similar to someone who maybe had an RV and they stayed in a few locations, and I can break my costs down. I'll be doing 2024 in my next video because it was much less money. But I basically stayed in two primary places, and I'll go through that in detail, and then I'll do the cost breakdown for each one of those locations. And then the last thing is I'll compare what that is to a one-bedroom condo that I actually own, and both what I paid for it as far as interest rate when I bought it and what it would be if you had done it today. I just want to compare what my cost would be. And then the last slide is the hotel points that I've earned that I'm going to bank for next year or the year after so that I can stay multiple weeks for free. And I'll walk through all that. So let me jump right in. At the end, I'll tell you about my channel, but let me first start with what 2025 looks like and then go all the way through the cost breakdown so you can get a comparison of what it's like versus if I had stayed in a condo all year. As I mentioned, 2025 was a lot like similar to living in a condo. I effectively lived in, I booked all the way through to 2025. And I've stayed in a premier Club Wyndham location known as Vino Bello. It's in Napa. So I'm a real estate agent, so basically living in one and needing to be by one location. It's much more luxurious than the condo I own as far as pools, grills, hot tub. They give me a free bottle of wine each week, so I can't complain. And it rents, just so you know, it rents if you just sort of rent it on TripAdvisor or one of the sites. It rents for about $3,200 a week. Um, and I think that's the discounted rate. And then I stayed in a GPX property, which I have access to because one of my Hilton timeshares is also GPX. It's Napa RiverPointe timeshare, and it's a one bedroom. And the weekly rental of that is about $1,800, and it's got a nice hot tub and a pool. And it's similar quality to the condo that I own. So I'm one level, I'm above, and the other I'm below, and then my Hawaii vacation and my Christmas are larger units or much more luxurious than either of those. But I have that, I'll break that down. So that's kind of what I'm doing in 2025. So it's kind of a fair comparison of what it's like to stay in a timeshare and not traveling around as much. So here's the cost breakdown for the primary places that I've got, and then on the next slide I'll summarize that. I'm sorry it's a lot of numbers, but I actually want to back up that it's well, you'll see the bottom line here in a little bit, but it's actually about the same as what would have paid if I'd stayed in the condo, and a little less if I'd bought it today. So Vino Bello, I had 5 weeks in a one bedroom at 1255 using RCI and my Hilton points actually. And then I've got 5 free weeks that I use from the points that I'd banked through all the years of presentations with Wyndham Rewards. And then 4 weeks at $800 a week using my Club Pass off season. Okay, and then Napa RiverPointe, it was every week was $399 a week plus tax, which is $454 a week. And with the GPX, sometimes they have resort fees, which one happens to have it, so it's $175 a week. So my total cost is $629 a week. And just so you know, I'm staying here 33 weeks this year, so not moving around a lot as I have done in past years. And I'll do, like I say, I'll show you 2024 when it was much more so. So now let me do the summary of the total cost to get you the monthly cost that I have for staying in my timeshares full time. So it kind of looks like living in a house with a couple weeks vacation. I have 33 weeks at Napa RiverPointe, which works out to $20,757. 14 weeks at Vino Bello at roughly $90 a night. It's $8,820. 2 weeks in Hawaii vacation, and that's $2,000 because I'm being relatively frugal on that. And then 1 week at Christmas right on the water in Monterey, California for $900. That's a 2 bedroom for my family to be able to stay there. And then I have 2 free weeks of hotels, plus I've got a small stay with my family at a family reunion. So my total costs, including all utilities and everything, so it's a fair comparison to the condos, is a monthly cost of 2,706. That's just above the current condo that I own cost of 2625, and well below the current cost of 3225 if I were to do this on the next slide. And just as a note, because I have the YouTube channel, I may actually write off all my costs in timeshare, so it's similar to having tax write-offs for a home. So there's for me, no fundamental difference. And I also have at least weekly cleaning, so I don't get to do that with my condo. I am the weekly cleaner. So let me now go break down the costs for the condo, and then the last slide I have is I'll explain the points I've earned for free stays that I'll use in future dates. Okay, here's the cost breakdown that I have for the one-bedroom condo that I own in close by to Napa and Walnut Creek. It's $1,900 a month, and that's taxes, insurance, and mortgage. It's a 2.5% 30-year mortgage, so I got a great deal back in the day of COVID. In today's market, that would be $2,500, a little bit more than that at current interest rate of 6.5%. I have an HOA, which is $425 a month. I estimate that heating and electricity is $200 a month, and internet/TV is roughly $100 a month. And those I think are fair, might even be a little conservative. So what that breaks down into is, based on the past purchase with 2.5%, it's $26.25, which is what I showed on the last slide. In today's purchase with the higher price, it would be $32.25 a month. So you can see I'm actually pretty much on target of whether I'm staying in my condo or not, and I get to rent that out and write it off and depreciate it because it's now an investment property. And now let me wrap up with the points I earned that I'm not actually using this year. So here's hotel points I've earned in 2025. This is a bit of an estimate because I haven't spent everything, but I'm using my credit card. I have 2 free nights for Bonvoy because I have the old SPG card plus the Bonvoy card. I have 3 Hilton Anywhere nights, which there's gonna be luxury, $1,000 a night stays because I purchased $60,000 because I pay for all my monthly rent with credit cards. So unlike your mortgage, you can't pay with a credit card, so you can't earn points. I actually get to earn points. I don't know if that's too big a plus, but anyway, I'm earning about 480,000 Hilton Honors points this year. And the breakdown is roughly 180K for owner updates, marketing packages. So when I book a marketing package at a discount, I get 40 to 60,000 or more, even up to 100,000. And then I do multiple owner updates a year, probably 2 to 3, well, probably 3 this year. And then I get 120,000 just by paying the maintenance fees and expenses at Timeshares, and then probably other purchases on the card, another 200,000. So that's how I get to my 480. That's the only one I broke down on by great detail. The Bonvoy, I'll earn more than 100,000 points. I have a marketing stay coming up that gets me 80 of those, so I'm pretty confident with that. Between that and maintenance, I'll easily get 100,000, and that's pretty good. That's pretty much good for a week, and the Hilton is good probably for 4 weeks. 20 days, and the Bonvoy is probably good for 5 days. And then the Winter Rewards points earned with the owner updates and so forth, around 100K with my purchases and so forth. And again, that's probably almost a week. 105,000 points would be a week. And with the discount of the 10% because I have earner card, it's less than 100,000. So I get another week of that. So really, I'm earning roughly over 4 weeks. Almost a month stay that I can book and use in future years. There you have it. Hope you liked it. Don't forget to give it a like, and don't forget to subscribe. Hi, this is Cliff, and I'm the Timeshare Traveler. Welcome to my channel. The purpose of my channel is to educate those who love traveling in timeshares. I've been an owner for 15 plus years at timeshare ownership. I have elite ownership with Marriott, Hilton, and Worldmark. I have published over 100 timeshare video reviews, and I've published over 95 timeshare tips. I can be found on Facebook at Timeshare Trav, at Twitter Timeshare Trav, and on the web at www.timesharetraveler.com.